title game. Villanova, Michigan. That guy, Jay Wright. Villanova dominated Michigan last night, 79-62. Jay Wright has now led Nova to 2 titles in the last 3 years. So he joins Coach K and Roy Williams as the only active coaches with multiple men's championships. Cece, how big was this for Jay Wright's legacy?
It's going to be bigger to other people more so than him. I don't think Jay's going to change. His heart is there. He's got the job of his lifetime. Don't have to worry about any rumors, MBA, maybe going to another school, bigger school. No, this is Jay Wright. This is his dream. To coach Villanova, to coach in Philadelphia. He has the type of program and kids that he won't get exhausted. They don't have a bunch of one and dones. Man, this is amazing because now people nationally will start to talk about him the way we feel about him. This is one of the preeminent, we talk about the blue bloods, but right now, the way college basketball is, you got to include Nova in that.
Right. Modern day blue blood.
He's won more championships than the blue bloods are winning.
Right. So you said something interesting there because I think there's a 0% chance that Jay Wright would ever leave Villanova for another school. But what we saw Billy Donovan win a couple titles and then go pro. We saw Rick Pitino go pro and then come back. You don't see that with Jay Wright. You don't think the NBA has that type of allure to him?
No, he's about teaching kids. If you know what his story is, it's about teaching kids at this level. He believes he's a better teacher between kids 17 to 22 than he would be at the NBA level. Now, he plays a style that people might think, wow, that's an NBA style, but no. He's a Villanova coach. He's a college basketball coach, and there's nothing wrong with that. Good for Villanova.
And he's happy. He's happy there.
It's awesome.
This is the key.
This is great.
All right, how important is a good night's sleep? We ask ourselves that every day here. Very important if you're Klay Thompson, apparently. In a recent podcast, Kevin Durant let us in on a little secret. Klay slept through practice the day before he went off for 60 points against the Pacers last season. Nick, how much more impressive does that make Klay's 60-point game?
I mean, I don't know if it makes it more impressive, less impressive, more fascinating. Here's what I do know. If you were to tell me there's a Warrior that slept through practice, you can have Klay Thompson or the field. My money is going on Klay. Klay is known as the coolest Warrior, the chillest Warrior, and sometimes that means, man, bleep this alarm. I'm going back to bed. Cece, you ever sleep through a practice?
No.
Never?
No.
Wow. Okay, all right. I thought we were going to get a story there because I assumed
the only way you get a show sleeping on stuff is like Charles Barkley. That's the only way you get a show. No, I was the other way, man. No, I was at practice. Practice was important, but it is nice to see because it is one of the characteristics around the Warriors that help make them go that Klay is so chill. With Draymond being very intense and all the optics being on the rest of the team, Klay helps bring some balance to that team.
Absolutely.
All right, good stuff. Moving on to golf. So obviously we're talking Tiger. The Masters start on Thursday.
Been late? Yeah. What about last week? Yeah.
Wait, who, me?
Yes.
Never. Never. You're just lying to America.
What time does the morning meeting start?
When I get there.
See? There you go.
It can't be late. If it starts when I get there. Just letting you know. Literally impossible to be late.
I wish America could see me right now. I'm twerking.
The Masters
Get it, Nick, right? Get it.
start on Thursday, but the buzz starts today with Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson being paired together for a practice round. Tiger will be looking to take home his 5th green jacket. What are fair expectations, Chris? Tiger.
Well, first, Jen, what you read there, it's a great read because the information. You're talking about 2 people who despised each other. 2 people who did not they didn't want to shake hands. They didn't want to make eye contact. There was no fiercer rivalry on the PGA Tour than Tiger and Phil. And it was real. It's more like a football, basketball rivalry compared to a normal golf, a gentleman's game. So him even playing a practice round, that people on tour say, this is a different Tiger. That he understands that, man, he missed golf. And even his relationships, he's trying to repair that, trying to repair his image. This is a huge thing for Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson to decide. All the time in the day that they're going to play 9 holes together, it lets you know where Tiger is mentally and all the adjustments and the appreciation he has for the game of golf now.
And I think your guy, Fred Couples, who had some quotes about this, I think he's playing with them as well. So, he is considered maybe the nicest guy on tour.
There's no one more loose than Freddie Couples.
Right.
I mean, there wasn't a day that he wasn't happy.
And so, if you needed someone to kind of bridge a gap, Fred Couples is a good option for it. But when you ask me, what are expectations? I mean, Tiger going to win this thing by 4 strokes or 6 strokes. Like, that, once Tiger's back to me and he's back to me, now I'm just talking about how much we're winning by. And when I say we, I attach myself to Tiger in this regard. Absolutely. Go win the damn thing, Tiger.
No,
Let's do another Tiger Slam. Let's get to 18 quick.
Tiger's a normal human being. He gets really nervous, especially on the first day in those first 9 holes. So watch him on Thursday. When he tees off that first shot and those first 9 holes, if he gets off to a good start, watch out for the weekend.
All right. Finally, the Odell Beckham trade rumors continue to swirl. And if you're asking 7-time Pro Bowler A.J. Green about the matter, he's got a very simple answer. That's stupid, man. The Bengals wide receiver goes on to say Odell's a once-in-a-lifetime talent. CeCe, you agree with A.J. Green that the Giants should just hold on to Odell?
Odell is I mean, we talk about the Giants, and you know, guys know I love the organization. I love the way they've done things for years. Odell's the best wide receiver to ever play for the Giants after 4 years. So A.J. Green, you're talking about a guy who's low maintenance, a guy who says nothing. 2 words. It's like E.F. Hutton. It's like Jamila on the staff. If they say something, man, it's important. You better listen up. That's A.J. Green. That's not one of the, that's not Antonio. That's not one of the, no, this is A.J. Green. And it would be stupid. Like, because when you have the guy who's the best at his position in your franchise history, like, man, you'd have to come to me with, I told you guys, I wouldn't trade him.
You wouldn't even, and CeCe said last week, even if you come to me with 2 first-round picks, you got to tell, like, what are the first-round picks? Do I have a wide receiver attached to it? Like, there was...
If Cleveland gave me number 1 and number 4, I would not trade Odell.
Oh, well... Now,
no one asked you.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you.
Well, you would do it.
No, I was just taken aback by the comment.
No, because there is not a wide receiver in this draft that can replace him. And there are not 2 players that are going to change this franchise the way Odell has already. When you already have a proven commodity, why take a chance and roll? Man, these draft experts, they ain't no experts. It's a roll of the dice. Of the first 32 picks, let me tell you something. 20 of them are going to be bust. Do I want to enter that, or do I want to know and manage the situation that I already have that is a proven talent?
Assuming you can manage it, because so far it has not been fully managed.
It's the NFL. If you are in the NFL business, you are in the business of managing the personalities. Well, all right? That's on every team. New England's trying to manage Gronk right now. So don't act like you ain't in the talent management business. They trying to manage, hey, man, do I want to play with these people anymore? So that is part of the culture in the NFL, is to be able to manage and cultivate that talent and get the best out of it.
While 1 and 4, I would make the trade. The general.
Okay, but who are you going to get?
Even if you don't draft a wide receiver.
Okay, just tell me though. How does this change it? Put those 2 names.
Okay, sure, absolutely. At number 1, I'm taking whichever quarterback the Giants want. At number 2, I'm taking, because they have the 2nd pick already in New York, I'm taking Saquon Barkley. And at number 4 pick, I'm taking Chubb. And I've got the best offensive player, the best defensive player, and my franchise quarterback. I'll make it do with the wide receivers. But I don't want to. You're almost forcing me to argue a point that I don't want to argue, because the point that because I don't think 1 and 4 are available. But let's say San Francisco made the trade, right? 9 and next year's number 1. The reason that if you're the Giants, you think long and hard and probably don't do that is you got to realize if in consecutive years you have the 9th pick and the 15th pick, right? And then 5 years later you look back on it and one of those players turns into Odell Beckham Jr., you are thrilled with the haul. But we've never seen thrilled.
You told us this. Mm-hmm. We've never seen a wide receiver like Odell. Oh, but we're getting ready to go in the draft. There is no one in the draft, bro.
There's no wide receiver. You can't duplicate his production for his position. No. I totally agree with you. When I said you get Odell Beckham, I mean that production at a different position. But CeCe, we're arguing over something we don't disagree with. Both of us believe you should keep Odell Beckham Jr. Of course, there's a price for me. Like 1 and 4 would be the price. But the other thing that I want to bring up is this. I think some of the noise yesterday coming out of New York, some of the reports, he's on the block for 2 firsts. I believe there was a little testing going on. Let's see if Odell fires off a foolish tweet. Let's see if Odell does something that gives us further belief that he's going to be unmanageable. or let's see if all that's happened this offseason, because let's also keep in mind what we're talking about.
But something already happened this offseason, Nick.
I understand that. But
after the organization sat down and spoke to him last year.
You know what? I'm going to say something that's going to be unpopular. What happened this offseason was he was surreptitiously recorded without his knowledge.
Well,
what happened this offseason was not Odell.
Don't act like nothing happened.
I'm not acting like nothing happened.
This is the most important offseason of his career.
Yeah.
Something happened.
I agree something happened.
And the Giants think something happened. Which is more important.
And the Giants think something happened following the Giants owner already sitting down with him to say, we don't want anything else to happen because we want to keep you. Please don't let anything else happen.
Which is why I view what happened with Odell, and I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm not saying it's irrelevant. But I view it differently than a fight in a nightclub. I view it differently than someone out in public doing something to bring disrepute upon the franchise.
I would much rather get into a fight in a nightclub.
Than having to go into the
I would much rather that.
Okay. All right. I mean, there is something we disagree with. I think that when you say Odell was told he needed to stay out of trouble, I think, again, I'm not justifying the behavior at all. Being in a hotel room with a woman, a French Instagram model, I understand there were drugs in the hotel room. It looks like that. It was not something I think Odell thought would ever get out. I think he thought, I can do this and totally stay under the radar. I think most people...
Well, that proves Jim's point that his thinking's not in the right place.
Right.
Because there's no way that he would have been in that room being self-reflective thinking this would be cool. Because you know what I'm telling you who he's not cool with? He's not cool with the NFL office. He's not cool with the Giants ownership. And let me tell you the people at Nike. You think they woke up happy?
No.
Oh, okay then.
No.
Those are the people who happen to be paying them.
Of course, but we would all feel differently, right, if he was the one that tweeted out that video? Like, it's a different thing. He thought it wasn't going to get out.
He was still doing it. He now might have to be in a drug program because of a video that by mistake got out. That's a big deal.
That ain't something you want.
Nobody thinks it's
No
something
one wants to be tested through